This playoff season, there's only one place where we'll bet, and that's Fanatic Sportsbook. Yes, they're our presenting sponsor, but it doesn't make sense to bet anywhere else if you're a sports fan. Because when you bet, you earn fan cash, win or lose, which means that your bets get you closer to accumulating fan cash for authentic jerseys, hats, memorabilia, and much more. Winning just hits different with fan cash. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut residents? Call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts residents? Call 888-327-5050. New York residents? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland residents? Visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Betting and Sweating from Knicks Film School. We getting all our bets in before a pivotal Game 3 matchup. Knicks heading to Indianapolis to face the Pacers. Pacers currently lead the series down 2-0. Up 2-0, excuse me. My name is Jeff. Joining me is my brother Mensa. Mensa, how you feeling today, man?
I was in the building for game 2, and I kind of wish I wasn't, but the further away I get from that experience is the better I feel about the Knicks' chances, because the further away I get from the emotions of it, you kind of just – it's hard for me to think that the Pacers are the more talented team. Now, we can talk about coaching or whatever we want to talk about there, but – at the end of the day, it's the players who have to go out there and win, and I like the Knicks players more than I like the Pacers players. 5-1 on the road in the playoffs. Game 3 is on the road in Indiana, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm feeling as the moments get closer to tip off, I get more and more confident.
I hear that. Yeah, man. I've emotionally placed this back on the players 100%. I've decided no longer to be emotionally invested in this. Of course, I'm going to be rooting. I'm going to be cheering. I'm going to be into the game. But in terms of allowing my vulnerability to fully immerse myself in this playoff experience, I can't do that anymore. Not after game 1, and certainly not after game 2, when I see a lot of self-inflicted wounds. And it had me questioning whether or not these guys really wanted it or not, just to be completely real. And I don't think that means that I'm a fake fan or I'm not on the bandwagon or I don't support. I've been here before. Everybody on the team is currently on the team. Probably only Tibbs and Rick Brunson. Actually, no, I was a fan before Rick Brunson was a Knick. Right? I was a fan. I gotta see when Tibbs was on the sidelines, but Tibbs is probably the one person that's currently affiliated with the Knicks in terms of coaching and players that was there before I was as a fan, right? So I'm gonna be there before, I'm gonna be there after, but this was just 2 disheartening losses. I'm not new to it, but it felt different because especially game 2, I felt like was very avoidable. Game 1 was definitely avoidable. Game 2, I felt like they're trying to do things the hardest way they possibly can, and this is not a recipe for success, especially in the finals. Coupled with the fact that there's new parity in the NBA. Ask the 2019 Raptors, ask the 21 Bucks, ask the 22 Celtics, ask the 22 Warriors, ask the 24 Celtics, ask the 23 Nuggets. You don't know when you get an opportunity. We do not know what's going to happen next year in terms of player motion, availability, all of that. You got to take the chances that you got to take. So now I said it, and I know a lot of folks felt these similar ways after losses throughout the season, especially now. This gear that a lot of fans expect them to have, I want to see it. My faith doesn't matter. They can execute. They have the control. So I want to see it. But what I definitely want to see is us hit these bets, man. We got these bets, betting and sweating. We are in the building to give you our best bets for the evening. Now, we do this on a point scale with our different bets that we're going to give you tonight. And we also have the official betting and sweating picks for Knicks Film School, care of our sponsors, Fanatic Sportsbook, who sponsor the betting and sweating. Let's get to that. I'm gonna get to that right now, real quick, off the top, just so that y'all have an idea on what we are doing. Let me get the share it, or let's do this. Boom. Here are the Knicks Film School picks. First, from Jonathan Macri, Brunson, 32 plus points at -120. How nuts is it that JB 32 plus points is pretty much a favorite pick? That's what the minus means, that it's likely to happen. This is who he is at this point. So shout out to Macri for choosing that one. GMAC, Andrew Claudio got 2 blocks for the blockness monster, Mitchell Robinson at +140. And my guy and yours, Sean, with the W, has Pascal Siakam under 4.5 first quarter points at a little under even money. So those are our official picks. Go into Fanatic Sportsbook, lock in, get your bets in, and take some of these bets. If you want to tail, we got them set up right for you in the app. All right, let's get to it. Let's get back here. Boom. All right, Mensa, we got the first point for the spread, money line, or total bet. This could be the game total or the team total. I'll let you go first, my brother. What do you have?
Knicks ML at +105 when I put this on the spreadsheet a few hours ago. The logic here is really simple. Knicks are 5-1 in the postseason on the road, and I believe to have been much more raucous environments than they will be in tonight. In Detroit, who hadn't been there in a couple years, and the Boston Celtics, who were the champions, and we beat them twice in their building. So there's that working for us. There is the Jalen Brunson of it all, who is turning Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Nesmith into street meat every time they play. I don't know if it's 53rd and 6th Street meat, if it's Joey Chestnut at Coney Island Street meat, whatever it is, those boys are getting fried. And so Jalen Brunson is going to come right back and do what he's been doing all series. And really, ever since he's been playing the Pacers, he averages 30 against the Pacers as a New York Knick. And then finally, this team, we talk about rent due Tibbs. This is foreclosure Tibbs. Tibbs bought a house with this contract extension, and he's about to lose the house if this team gets embarrassed tonight. And I think with the starting lineup change, you see one of the things that a lot of people have criticized about Tom Thibodeau is because we don't really have the lineup data and they don't really know how to play with each other. The other side of that is there's no tape on whatever this starting lineup is going to be, because it's the first time we're going to see it this year, whoever the starting five will be, if it changes. But I do believe that shout out to Ian Begley, shout out to CP, the franchise over at Knicks Fan TV. They're saying there's going to be a change. I am crossing my fingers, dotting my I's, my T's, whatever it is I got to do. I was in church this Sunday, give a little extra, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is to get this starting five to change and be effective, I think it's going to happen. And because of that, I believe a change in the starting five makes this a brand new series. And I do like the Knicks to win tonight. So Knicks ML is what I'm going with a little bit over plus money in a win or go home situation, because you go down 3-0, the series is over. So I expect the Knicks to be their best tonight. And if the Knicks are at their best, I don't think the Pacers can beat them.
100%. The scuttlebutt is that Mitchell Robinson is going to replace Josh Hart in the starting lineup. I personally would have replaced Josh with Deuce and tried to outgun these guys, because I think at this point, for as well-oiled machine as Indiana is, and at this point, you got to admit the hate if you don't admit that as a team, those guys are solid and their offense is so dynamic, it either wears you down or makes you tap out. I do think the Knicks, with their combo of defense and offense, have the bigger guns in the matchup. But we haven't played 5 out. The Knicks haven't played 5 out all year. consistently. So, que sera, sera. All right, I'm going with the under here, under 224.5. We hit this last game. By virtue of this potential starting lineup change, I expect the defense to be much tighter in this game for the New York Knicks. I don't expect the Pacers to jump out to another double-digit lead, or at least I hope not. I think that they are going to have to send the entire armed forces of Indianapolis on the boards on offense to keep Mitch off. So I think that's another positive that the Knicks have in their favor. And last game, 114 to 109, 223. It was teetering on the over and teetering towards the over, just got under it. So I think we're getting more towards those type of scores. So that's why I like the under in this one. I don't really like betting unders, but I think defense is going to be a staple of tonight.
So I think that's a great bet for a few reasons. I think the Knicks need to get out of, and I tweeted this during game one, they need to resist the urge to play up-tempo basketball, because up-tempo basketball is Pacers basketball, and they do that better than anybody in the NBA. Right. So when you're if you add Mitchell Robinson to the starting five, the first thing you're doing is you're giving OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges you're giving them a nose tackle, right? You're giving them a real rim protector, somebody who can clean up mistakes on the back end for them that they did not have with a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, who I love, is not a good rim protector, right? That's the first thing you're doing. The second thing is you are adding a better rebounder than Josh Hart. Josh Hart is a good rebounder for a guard. Mitchell Robinson is a good rebounder for a rebounder, right? So when you're adding when you're adding Mitchell Robinson, you're slowing the game down, because the more rebounds you get is the less transition opportunities that the Pacers have. So I think that if Mitchell Robinson does start, I like this under bet because the game will be slower. And if the game is slow, we're playing a half-court game. Not only does that play into the Knicks' hands, but it gives there less possessions, which means that under 224 should be really good, because then you need both teams to score under 112 points. I can see that happening for sure. So I like that bet a lot.
For sure. Shout out Mo in the chat, brother. Dude, take a walk around the block. That man is upset. I get it. That man is upset, boy. Woo. We going to 2 points now. The op bet, a bet based on the Indiana Pacers and who you got. In the wise words of Sean with a W, the op bet doesn't mean that I have to bet for something favorable for them. For me, it's Miles Turner under 5.5 boards, minus 150. He's hit the under. He hasn't gone over his boards in 2 games against the Knicks. And now that you have Mitchell Robinson potentially in the starting lineup, a lot of my bets are based on Mitch being in the starting lineup tonight. And even without it, Turner likes to play on the perimeter. He's not really trying to get in the mix rebounding wise. And now if he does, he's going to have to contend with Cat and Mitch under there. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of boards for him. If he breaks this bet, maybe it means that the Pacers are missing a lot more, and he's just cleaning up some offensive boards, which could be good or bad, depending on how it is. 6 boards for a 7-footer should be nothing, but it looks like Turner is trending towards the under. That's why it's minus 150, because he's not really attacking the boards like that. So that's why I like this bet.
Yeah. Karl Anthony Towns, top 5 defensive rebounder in the game. Mitchell Robinson, top 3 offensive rebounder in the game. Miles Turner doesn't stand a chance on the glass. I love that bet.
There it is. What you got, brother?
For me, I got Tyrese Halliburton under 20.5 points. His season average is a little under 21 points a game, and that's not what the Pacers want to do. The Pacers have, in fact, been using Nembhard a lot on the ball, giving Tyrese Halliburton some time off the ball, and then I think that he's not going to get as many shots up because he is a facilitator. He really wants to pass the ball. He went over this bet game 1 in MSG. That's because he had the MS juice going through his blood. He's not going to have that at whatever they call the Indiana Arena. We don't really care about what they're called. Something Fieldhouse, whatever. He's going to play his game, and I think he's going to go under this. I like him to get maybe 18, 19 points tonight. 21 is a little too rich for my blood, so I like that under at minus 125 for Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, it seems like he had his first I'm not really scoring like that game in game 2, which is another reason why that loss was so frustrating, because you do want to take advantage of those games where Hallie either can't score or decides he's not shooting like that. So you would want to take advantage of that. But shout out to him. Under 20.5 points, minus 125. I like this bet because it could for sure happen. So we will see. Let's go to the 3-point bet. We put it together a good parlay, 2 to 3 legs max. And now this will be me starting this one off. I got Mitch Robb 9+ boards, Towns 2+ 3-pointers made at plus 175, boosted to 218 if you have the boost from our good folks over in Fanatics. These are baseline numbers. This is one of those safe parlays. Like, I'm not trying to hit home runs in every single at bat. This is straight. We're making contact and we're trying to get on base, right? Mitch 9 rebounds, especially as he's starting. He's averaging, I think his per 36 is in the double digits because he's only been playing 20 some minutes a game. Those minutes are getting extended. The more he's on the court, the more he's grabbing the boards. The only weapon formed against the Knicks that can prosper, well, the main weapon that can form against the Knicks is Hacker Mitch. Past that, even with that, he's still been able to grab boards. So I like that. And Towns, this is part trend for him because he's hit 2+ 3-pointers in both games of the series. And this is sprinkled with a dash of copium because hopium, I should say, because he needs to shoot, man. He needs to shoot these threes. They need to manufacture offense for him to utilize one of his top 3 abilities, especially against the Pacers. Keep them at arm's length, build a substantial lead, and have that 3-pointer in tow to free up everything else on the offense. Need it. That's what I'm hoping with my 3-point bet. Mr. Mensah.
I love it. I love that. Again, like you said, baseline numbers. You're getting 2 baseline numbers. If everything goes to plan for the Knicks, you get that at over 2 to 1. I love that. Really great bet there. For me, I'm doing a bit of a point structure ladder kind of thing. I usually, one of my favorite parlay types is 25 points for one guy, 20 points for another, and 15 for a third. Because Jalen Brunson at 25 points is like 2,000, minus 2,000. We went with 28 for him there as a parlay piece. So I got Brunson 28 points, Towns 20 points, Bridges 15 points at plus 215, boosted to plus 236. Another one of those. This is what should be happening, especially with Josh Hart now not being in the starting. Well, not now. I'm talking as if it happened. Right. Potentially not being in the starting lineup. You're going to need more from Mikal Bridges on the ball. Karl Anthony Towns has been averaging 25, 30 against the Pacers this season. Jalen Brunson averages 30 against the Pacers this season. Mikal Bridges, I think he's hit over this number pretty consistently in the playoffs. He's kind of been one game or the other. So he did it last game. I'm hoping that he can do it second game in a row here. And we have that at a little over 2 to 1. Really solid bet, I think. And the Knicks are a team that you can predict who is going to score the ball. We know Jalen Brunson is going to have the ball early, intermediate, and late. We know Karl Anthony Towns is going to get his opportunities when Brunson comes off in the second quarter. We know Mikal Bridges is going to get his opportunities in transition and to shoot those open threes. So I really like this bet, and I think the Knicks I think this should happen.
With the change in the starting lineup, that opens more shots for Mikal because he's going to be a more willing shooter. I think Towns gets 20 in his sleep. Brunson playoff 28 in his sleep. I love this, boosted to 236 as well. I think these are, once again, baseline numbers. I like your 15, 20, 25 play. They hit this, they should win. If they hit your bet, they should win. So I definitely, you killed with that one. All right. We're coming right back to you, Mensah, for our 4-point bet. The home run bet that's plus 300 or greater. Mensah, what do you got?
I got New York Knicks dominance tonight. I got the Knicks winning both halves. So they win the first half of the game, 0-0 second half. They win the second half of the game at plus 425. I think the Knicks come out really strong tonight. I don't know if the Pacers are able to deal with the new starting lineup. I understand that everybody says that the Knicks double big lineup isn't necessarily what's going to work for the against the Pacers, but that is New York. That is Tom Thibodeau doubling down on what the Knicks want to do. They want to get extra possessions. possessions. They want to run the offense through Jalen Brunson, and I don't think that the Pacers can beat us in a half-court game. If the Knicks are able to make this a half-court basketball game, they should win both halves comfortably. So I like this bet a lot at over 4-1 odds, plus 425. I think you can't go wrong with this one if you're looking for a home run bet, especially because it is do or die time for the New York Knicks. So I like this bet a lot.
All right. Yeah. They've won the first half, I believe, in both games this series. They've been up at the half. It's just the second half that's been.
So we're just asking them to win the game.
So if they could keep pace and change reverse the curse in the second half, this is an easy cash for you. So I definitely like that. This one is kind of like squad carpooling with you. It's not really squad riding. It's like we going in the same destination. So I'm following you on this. I got Mikal Bridges 25 plus points at plus 560. There's something in Mikal's game that Indiana can't stop. If he goes to work, Nembhard can't really guard him like that. They're not going to put Nesmith on him because then that opens it up for either Cat or Brunson on the court to go to work. Fourth quarter Bridges is definitely a thing. I think if he's cooking on his 3-point shot, this one is going to have a lot of juice. So he had 20 in game 2, 16 in game 1. In 50, I want to say in like 57 career playoff games, he's hit this number in 5. One of those 5 was this year against Detroit in game 6. He got it in him. He's had it in him recently. Once again, he hits this, they should win. And I think this is like a good YOLO bet because it's so possible. If a few things go right here and there, it's so possible to go. So this one is definitely worth a sprinkle.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, Mikal Bridges, when he hit that on May 1st against the Pistons, it was in their building on the road. So that's a big thing. He's on the road again here. And he only hit 1 of 4 of his threes, was 11 for 16 from the field. So you're really just betting on Mikal Bridges being active, right? And I like this bet a lot for here's a reason why, because against the Pacers, he's averaging 45 and a half minutes and he's averaging 17 shots. When he did it on May 1st, he shot the ball 16 times. So you already have the volume. Right? You have the volume. You know the Pacers are going to sell out to try to get Jalen Brunson to have the ball out of his hands. Mikal Bridges, if he has a big game here, and it's possible because the volume is there and the minutes are there, if he's hitting his shots at plus 560, I love it. Love that a lot. I think that's a really good home run swing.
Yes, sir. And once again, this is sponsored by Fanatics Sportsbook. You can earn up to 10% back on your bets, win or lose. Use fan cash on team gear at fanatics.com. Bonus bet or profit boost in the Fanatics Sportsbook app. Stay tuned for exclusive offers all playoffs long. I got a Ewing jersey with my fan cash. I know, Mency, I think you got some cool Knicks gear as well. So definitely tap in with Fanatics, man. They got some gear. You can use your fan cash to get some more. And it's not just apparel. They have photos, they have keychains, cups, like all types of paraphernalia that you want related to the New York Knicks. Fanatics got you covered. All right, let's get to the 5-point betting and sweating official tissue pick. I'm going to start with you, Mensa. What is your official betting and sweating pick?
I like Cat in the Kitchen, and I'm not talking about stereotypes here. I love it. Karl Anthony Towns over 21 and a half points. Again, the Pacers cannot stop this man. They don't have the facilities to guard him. In 28 minutes. He went under this last game, but in 28 minutes only, he had 20 points, right? So he was just under there, and he only shot the ball 14 times. I like him to rebound here a lot, like what he did May 21st against the Pacers in 39 minutes, had 35 points on 11 for 17 shooting. Couldn't stop him then, can't stop him now. I like this bet a lot. You just need Cat to get to 22 points, and he does that in his sleep. That's beneath his season average. I like this bet a lot right here. Karl Anthony Towns over 21 and a half points at minus 115.
Love it, love it, love it. Once again, these are baseline picks, and that's why I love it as the best bet. And for those who may not be as initiated into the betting world, let me give you a quick rundown on what the odds mean. Minus 115. Those are the odds, right? They go into multiples of 100 and then within that. So if you have something that's minus 115, think about it like this. If you were to bet $1, you'd win 85 cents. Because 85 plus 15 is 100. So if it was plus 100, if the bet was plus 100, that means it's a 1-to-1 bet. You bet $1, you win, you get $2. When it's in the negative, that means they believe it's more than likely to happen or it's the favorite. So that's why they're not giving you as good of an odds. So something like Bridges dropping 25 points, I gave you the stat why that would be so high because it's not within his character. So it's close to 6-to-1 odds for 560, which means if you bet $1, you get $5.60 back if you hit a plus 560. So that's kind of where just a quick crash course on what the odds mean when you are betting your cash on these picks. And that's why you'll see when you be on the timeline and you see people posting those 85 leg parlays, it's pretty much lotto. They're trying to hit something that's least likely to happen. And trying to win a lot of money doing it. They don't hit often, and you don't see a lot of the people's wins. You see the wins every once in a while, but they don't be posting their L's either. So just keep that in mind when it gets into this betting thing. But I definitely like what Mintz is cooking. And for me, I'm going with old reliable, man. Brunson 30+ points, minus 165. That's what we call a juice bet. That's why it has higher or lower odds, more favorited too, which means you'd have to bet a little bit more to try to like break even or try to hit double. But it is such a sure thing that's why a lot of people would bet it in general, because 30+ points. Who does Brunson need to be compared to in the playoffs next for you to believe that he is one of the best playoff performers of the modern era? And I don't think that's hyperbole to say 30+ points is something that he gets in his sleep in the playoffs. They're going to need every one of them 30 points tonight. So that's why I'm rolling with that as my best bet.
Yeah, man. 38 minutes, game 1, had 43. 39 minutes in game 2, had 36. And both of those games were very different. The first game 1, was very up-tempo. Both teams scored over 130 points. Last game, they hit that under bet. They hit between the two teams, they scored 223 points. Jalen Brunson is money. If the game is 89-79, I think Jalen Brunson has 40 points. If the game is 160-150, I think Jalen Brunson has 40 points. We know he's going to have the ball all throughout this game. He is averaging over 30 points in this series. I don't think Neesmith can do anything with him. I know Andrew Nembhard can't do anything with him. So I do believe that the Knicks are going to continue to go to the well that never runs dry, which is Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter.
Yes, sir. All right. Before we get out of here, we're going to hit the other sports scoreboard. We're going to give a game or a line or spread from a different game going on. A game line or spread from a different game going on tonight. This is 1+ points. It's not really, it's only 4 teams left in the NBA, so ain't too much moving. A lot of stuff started earlier because it is Sunday. There's tons of action on the board with MLB, WNBA. Could have got some Indy 500 in there if it was starting a little later, but it is what it is. Mensa, what you got?
I'm going with the team in Queens to win over the team in LA. I like the Mets to win tonight over the Dodgers. We got Kodai Senga on the mound. My ghost fork ball will be cooking today. So I like the Mets to win this game at minus 115.
All right. I like that. Kind of in line with that, but not really. I'm going with the Nerfy bet. No runs in the first inning between the Dodgers and Mets, currently at minus 115. This is the end of the the series, right? This is the fine. They only played a 3-game series.
Yeah.
So in the 2 previous games, there's been no runs in the first inning between the Dodgers and the Mets. So I'm going off the trend. The Mets this year have had no runs in the first inning about 80% of the games that they've played. So I'm just going with the numbers here. Think they start out with a little bit of a pitching duel early, and then some type of fuckery ensues, and that's what's been happening in the last 2 games. So I think it's going to start off the same, no runs in the first inning for both teams. Now, one more bet. Give a player prop from a different game going on tonight. Mensa, what's your player prop bet?
I will after your Nerfy bet hits, because I believe in that one for you. Some of the fuckery that's going to happen is going to be a Pete Alonso home run at plus 230. I like the Polar Bear to get on the board here tonight. Sunday night in Queens. Let's have a good showing. Just really like that bet. I like Polar Pete. I feel like he's due for a big game. So tonight, let's get it. Let's see what happens on our national television.
Yeah, he's due for one, and he could definitely get one out of there. So I like this bet at plus 230. This one had some like low odds, but I rock with it. Lindor stolen base over 0.5, which means I'm betting on him to get a stolen base at plus 375. He stole a base last night. I'm going back to the well to see if he's feeling froggy and he going to jump and try to get second base again, or maybe he gets third base. Who knows? Why not? we needed to pick a player prop. I like looking at the numbers and seeing what's more than likely or what's happened more recently, especially with baseball. And stolen bases, I'll tell y'all, it's a little finicky. One, because of the pitch clock. Two, because of the limits to throwing over the first now that they have. There's certain rule changes which make these bets less likely to happen. Because if I can only throw over the first twice and I throw over twice, then the team gotta be on high alert for a steal, because you can't hold the runner on first anymore. So it's a little extra insight into why it's probably plus 375. But if you're taking a flyer and you just want to bet, and not on the outcome, but on individual players, I like this one. All right, Mensa, those are our bets. What are some parting words you have for the people?
Sports are a lot of things, right? But more than anything else, and this is just what I've been saying all season, especially as fans, sports are a journey, right? And no matter where the journey takes us, we should enjoy the ride, right? These last two games have not been enjoyable for Knicks fans. Don't get me wrong, but the highs have been really high. The lows have been really low. Just take every game, one game at a time. I hope that you enjoy, putting a little money in places where you could probably win some more money, the way me and Jeff do over here at Knicks Film School, the way we do with Fanatics, and that can make the game more enjoyable when you bet, but there's also the sweat to it. So if you don't want to sweat tonight any more than you'll already be sweating as a Knicks fan, we appreciate you anyway for tuning in with us. Hopefully we gave you some insight into how the game is going to go tonight. But again, just try to enjoy this game. At the end of the day, we still have one Jalen Marquise Brunson wearing number 11 in blue and orange. And as long as he is playing basketball for the Knicks, we're going to be all right. So that's really where I'll leave it. Game 3 must-win game. Hopefully in 3 hours we're all celebrating and we're back to talking cash shit on the timeline, because I need us to get back. I need a good feeling tonight.
I will say the timeline does feel a little dystopian without the Knicks fans turning up. Twitter don't even work like that anymore. The DMs ain't going through. The notifications ain't happening. You see, the society has crumbled now that the Knicks are down. So the heroes that we need got to rise up one more time. We about 50 plus minutes away from tip. Let's go Knicks. Mensa told you what the vibes are. I got no more to it. Show us who you are, and we just hope who you are is a champion. That's what I got. Thank you so much for tuning in. Betting and Sweating, Fanatic Sportsbook sponsor. That is Mensa. I'm Jeff. You have been amazing. Good luck on your bets. Good luck, Knicks. Make sure you tune in after game 3. Me and Macri are on the post game. I am hoping it is a celebration of some sort that the Knicks are back in the series, because the alternative has been super dejecting. And none of us want to go through that anymore for the rest of the postseason. So I'm hoping for a Knicks win. Send the Knicks all the positive energy you can in enemy territory. The Liberty have already set the tone in Indiana, taking care of the Fever, locking up Caitlin Clark on the final play of the game. It was cloudy, seafoam green cloudy in Indianapolis. 2-factor authentication lockdown on Caitlin Clark. All right. Let's keep that energy going. We gonna talk to you soon. This is Betting and Sweating. Thank you for joining us. Knicks post game tonight on Knicks Film School. Y'all have a good evening.